sister, maybe her uncle, you know, who knows? Be weird stuff going on. You know what I mean? What's he doing in there? Who let him in? How does he even have the key? The white girl gave it to him. She gave him approval to do that. So the white girl, she wants to sleep with these black men because, you know, she can't get a decent white man who's taking advantage of being white in America. They don't want her. But she respects white men. Actually, she respects white men so much that how dare she bring her trifling presence around a white man? No, let me take it to these black dudes. Got her uncle sitting up in the house. You know what I mean? That's why he was in their spot. Sitting there, cocky, racist. He's like, get out of here. You got to leave. You know what I mean? Now, here's the part where, you know, somebody's going to get lynched possibly or get found somewhere in some water floating. You know, you see, he said the police called him. You see, he said the police called him. Why the police calling him for nothing? It has nothing to do with them. These Mayo monsters said, get out of town. But look, at least they forewarned him. They didn't have to. They could have easily rocked him to sleep. Easy to do. Easy to rock a interracial. Easy, man. Rock an interracial black man to sleep with him. Come on, man. And a white girlfriend, she'll set him up. Whether she knows it or not. See, that's the thing. These girls don't always know that they're setting you up. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know sometimes. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. It's just a simple phone call. They're acting all cool and normal. They might be having a fair or bonfire or something like that. And they call a white girl up. Hey, Jules, is Quadarius, is he coming with you? Is he coming to the fairs, Quadarius? Oh, yeah. We'll be there. Okay, I'll see you guys there. And that's how, you know what I mean? Listen, people. You know what? Check this out right here. Check this out. Check this out. I'm going to read a response to this brother's video from a white supremacist. And I hope that nobody takes this advice and doesn't really fall for this okie doke. This is what this white supremacist said right here in response to that video. I'm sorry to say that, but it's not because you are black.
Oh, good day, family. Let me rewind this because everybody needs to hear this. I just seen it this morning. I think I just seen it this morning. Let me get my water and stuff because everybody needs to see this right here. It ain't that we fear mongering or nothing like that. We just need our people to be aware. You got to be aware. You got to let your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, you got to let them know to follow their intuition now. To follow their intuition. They moving their asses all off in the boondocks and stuff with Sabrina motherfucking ass. Don't know nothing about Sabrina's family. They might know her brother. And you know, those that's with Sabrina. But they don't know them great aunties and them uncles. They don't know them great grandmamas and them granddaddies. And they done move their asses out with these people and stuff, you know. And that's how they end up being vulnerable and being set up. So we're going to watch this video right here because this done happened to a brother. It happened to him. He moved out there with his baby mama, away from his family, out there with Sabrina and her family. Woke up the next morning, her uncle ass sitting in the kitchen at the table. Told him to get his ass up and get out. Don't get out of the house and the town. Get your ass out the state. You got to tell your sons, tell your daughters. You got to tell your nieces and your nephews. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. They're going to do what they want to do anyway, but you better give them the knowledge why they doing it. You better give them the knowledge why they doing it because things ain't as kosher as our asses thought it was. It ain't. No, everything is being revealed for a reason. And from what I've been learning and stuff, Adam and Eve is white people's beginning. Adam and Eve ain't us. No. Adam ass was really, well, I didn't write it down. Pilates. It's on another tab though. But I ain't wrote it down in a notebook yet because it's something new. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know where I'm going to put it at. Maybe with Dr. Ray Higgins. It might need its own notebook. I don't know. But that man right there, Pelagus or whatever his name is. I'm gonna find it. He was his ass was the king of the Arcadians, y'all. The Arcadians was like the wild man, the Neanderthal, and the caveman beast. It's fucked up. It is fucked up. No, Adam and Eve is not the beginning of me. Show in the hell ain't. That's why we celebrate Valentine's Day. All of this stuff, y'all, it is fucked up. Then it dawned on me and stuff. This is where that clownimal nature, that clownimal instinct come out of. I sure want to show y'all, brother, I've been listening to. You know, I don't agree with everything he said. He probably don't agree with everything I say. Good day, how you doing, my brother? How you doing, Kelvin? And chat. Yeah, that's right. You so right. Thank you. Y'all are amazing. And you inspiring and stuff. Y'all help take some of the nervousness away. Y'all do. And I really appreciate you too and stuff. And I thank you for the subscribers and stuff, for y'all coming here wanting to hear something new and different. Because that's really all it is. And when you find out others and stuff, let me know too. In the map drawer, I'm going to be getting your songs and stuff. You know, we just got to help each other evolve. This is a collective thing. By force, we being made to unite, to help each other, to actually look and feel each other. But y'all, let me get this out the way, because this video is like what?
The owner of
16 minutes. No,
doing the right
let me go and rewind it.
And providing your own space for you too.
Let me go on and rewind it and stuff, because we need to know these things. You need to tell your sons, your grandsons and stuff. We need to tell our babies and stuff. Let them know. And then, hey, if you still want to do it and stuff, hey, at least you knew. Maybe before the shit hit the fan, you can get up and jump over that fence and try to find somebody and call your family and say, hey, come and get me. I don't know, but the movie Get Out is very real. Yep. So we all know that I'm Face the Nation. We on Bolden Unchained. And we know why we're here for Black people. And we look it through a spiritual lens of loyalty, resilience, and education, because we don't know these things. We so traumatized. We do not know these things. And we look it through that spiritual lens because we can't afford to keep forgiving no more. As far as I'm concerned, we can't afford to keep forgiving no more unless it's to us, our ancestors, the decisions we done made and stuff, the sincerity that we done put into all of this coexisting. We can forgive all of that and stuff. We ain't got to let it keep us, though. We don't have to let it keep us within this matrix, this toxic ass relationship with white folks, and they ain't even right. We different. We are so very different. So that's why we're here. Let me read the copyright disclaimer. You know, I try to do right when you have to do these things and stuff. Because it does, you know, it matters to me. You know, if this how I'm going to talk to us, this how I'm going to let us know how I feel and what I think, then, you know, I can pick it up. You know, copyright disclaimer on the 107 of Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use, whatever that means. But it was in quotation marks, so I wouldn't have written it down. For purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, fair uses are used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So we can do it. We can study. You can study. You got your books and stuff. Get your channel too. I'm trying to lessen my time and stuff and make mine more impactful for us with things we can do and finding these solutions and helping those of us out there that just don't know. Because we just don't know. We just trying to hold us. Just somebody hold us. You know, that's all we trying to do. So we got to help each other out here. And that's all I'm trying to do my part. I want to know sincerely what's wrong with my people, and I want to fix it. Whatever the hurt is, wherever it's done come from. Yeah, I'm here for it. That's why I'm here. You know, we got to do these things and stuff to be okay with it. Oh, honey, I was finna get the wrong book. Yep, but here we are right here. This is what we're reading today. But let's get this video out the way because it is very detrimental. Let me get this. It's very detrimental. And this right here is going to explain exactly what I've been saying. You ain't got to all faces just saying that. Love who you love. No, it ain't that bullshit. Not no more. Not no more. Somebody did say, I might have been Ashby. Somebody said that it might have been somebody else. That, you know, our relationship with each other and stuff, our men and women, our coupling, our relationships, being together and stuff, our marriages, our love. Them partnerships, them unions can't be just based on love no more. It's gonna have to be a business mindset. From here on out, it's gonna have to be a business mindset, and I feel like, you know, it's gonna have to be a spiritual mindset. It's gonna have to be a focal mindset where we focusing on us and our people. We focusing on our ancestors, our future. It can't be this love bullshit no more, because that ain't working. We missing the more important parts of being a union, because we ain't even got our greatest in the middle of our unions, y'all. We sure don't. No, your ass got Adam and Eve. Let me look over here and see what that man's name is. The holiday is Lupercalia, y'all. The man name is Lupercus. Yeah, Lupercus. That's his name. His first name was it started with a P. It started with a P. It must have been on another one that I was looking at. But I'm going to find it because I'm going to write all of this down, honey. But they celebrated Lupercalia. They celebrated Lupercalia, right, in honor of Lupercus. His real name was Pelagus or some shit like that. I'm going to get it. I'm going to find it. But what happened was he was the king of the Arcadians. The Arcadians were beasts. They were Neanderthal. They were wild, y'all. They looked like wolves standing straight up. That's who it was. That's who it was. In the end, and so they used animal rituals, the animal sacrifices. They used blood ritual, something. They used fertility practices. They used whipping stuff for the fertility. Honey, they would get weeds that they done dipped in blood. And they run through the town, whipping women and agriculture, whether it's crops or it could be a field full of corn. They didn't care. Whatever it is that's growing, because it was about fertility, and I don't know how the hell they was thinking, but that's what they did and stuff. And they banned it some kind of way, and it ended up being St. Valentine's Day. This holiday was celebrated on February the 15th. Valentine's Day is February the 14th. Y'all, I'm going to have to understand it and stuff, because I was like, whoa. And I got a book on a notebook for the holidays, because I want to know. I don't celebrate holidays anymore. I rarely tell anybody happy birthday. Your ass timeless. You might have been here 47 years, but you timeless. You know, see? Holidays, yeah. It say find your happy. And I wrote in black horror day holidays, because it's all evil, y'all. Everything. It sure is. We better start doing our knowledge and stuff. But what's more interesting? Can you find anything else that make you want to be there and pay attention than this, than us? I can't, you know, be happy about it. Be happy about it. Be sincere. Be passionate about us. Even the savage. Be sincere to yourself and us about the savageness. You know, I want to come here like I am about Red Summer and stuff, but I got to be true to myself and loyal to myself, how it's making me feel and what it could be. I know I think outside the box. I know don't nobody else think that it might have been a time limit on slavery. I'm just saying. That's what I think. But, you know, we just got to be open for all of these things and stuff, because I can't wait to hear what you think. Oh, honey, can you imagine how we're going to be able to use our critiques so that we can help everybody else? And we can finally, when everybody start asking, all that do make sense, it do resonate. We done came up with another way so we can catch up. Because we catching up now. We so far behind. We are literally one nap away from being just out cold. That's how deep they got us. They got us. Yeah, you better kick them damn doors down. You better kick the hinges off that motherfucker, because you got to save Black America. I don't know now if the animals gonna have to stand up and tell you, Black America, what white America really is, because they different. They've been holding in all this rage and shit, and that's what it is. That's what it is. Check out our family. Go you better share this with everybody. I don't care if you got cook. You better call everybody. I'm cooking tonight. Come over Friday. And get them to look at this video. Fuck the dumb shit.
Anybody who would like to support the channel, the link to
and go support the channel.
No secret in the service.
Runaway slave.
Yep. We also have the Runaway Slave store.
Yep. Our family ain't just talking when they say, oh shit, you just jealous of me and Brad. For what?
I want you to watch this video here. And this video is an example of how a lynching starts. This is how the white community forms Pel Voltron. And this is how they lynch a young Black man, okay? This young Black brother right here is in an interracial relationship, you know, very close call, whether he knows it or not. I don't think he understands that. Maybe he does, but listen to him right now.
I said, if you want proof that white people don't view us the same, just have a baby by one of their people, their children, whatever, and then see how they treat you after y'all break up.
Let me turn it up a little bit.
It don't even got to be after y'all break up. So when I first found out that my white baby mom was pregnant, I decided I was going to try to do the good thing and, you know, make a relationship work. So she ended up moving like 2.5, 3 hours away from where I was living to go live closer to her family, which was in like Cumberland, Maryland. So I decided, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go live up there to try to make something work with her. She was living in a apartment that her grandparents had owned. So I go up there, I'm staying with her, and I'm working at like this AT&T store, and she working as a massage therapist. So one day she go to work, and when I wake up, because I ain't slept in or whatever, I get up, I go in the kitchen and go make something to eat, and her uncle is literally sitting in the fucking kitchen at the at the dining room table, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So I'm saying like, yo, what's up with you? I'm like, what's going on? He was like, yeah, well, I came to let you know that the owner of this property no longer wants you staying here. Mind you, this was her mother's brother. We were staying in like her father's parents' house or something like that. So
the baby uncle.
So I'm like, what do you mean?
That's her uncle, the baby great uncle.
The owner of this house no longer wants you here, so forth and so on. I'm like, man, I'm out of here. Like I said, well, let them tell me that. So now I'm getting living. So I ended up leaving because I'm so mad, and I called my baby mother and told her what's going on. She's like, what? That is not no. It started going off.
Now see, that was fucked up right there. Ain't no telling how long that man had been in that apartment with him, standing over his head, walking around the bed, looking in drawers and shit, and he's sitting there sleeping. So yeah, I know your family ain't gonna want to hear it. Mine ain't either. They ain't either. But all they ask, you better watch this video and you better set him down. Set Karen motherfucking ass down. Sabrina down. She need to see it too, because that girl knew what her family was like. She knew damn well her family didn't want that boy there. We just didn't know. He didn't know. Well, y'all don't, because I know now. I sure do.
So then, the police called my phone. And I'm like, what the f***? I'm on the phone with the police. We talking. The police telling me that her parents, or her mother, called the police on me and told them. And they was like, well, I don't really know what she wants us to do about it, because they said, they didn't say you actually broke any laws. They pretty much just want you to leave the entire city of Cumberland, not just leave the apartment building. They want me to.
Oh no, they want them to leave the city, the whole city. I said the whole state. Yeah.
And I was like, are you fucking serious right now? And that's just one of many stories, like behind me dating this woman for the very small amount of time that I tried to date her. What God said, if you want proof that white people don't view us the same, just have a baby by one of their people, their children, whatever, and then see how they treat you after they are.
Well, that right there was a learning experience for this young brother right here. He also dodged the bullet. This is how some people have to learn. Now, I hope it was a learning experience. I don't know. I don't know him. Some people
y'all
take
better
those
get this
situations
movie rented or something.
I gotta do better.
And
these
teach
white
your
people
young
like
ones,
me or
teach
make
your
them love me.
kids
I
and
don't
stuff,
know.
your young
I
teenagers.
don't know. I hope it was a learning experience for him.
Shit,
But
y'all
I'm
better
glad
make
that
a
this brother
Sunday
right
night
here
or
didn't end
something.
up in a
Cook some
tree in
greens
Cumberland,
and some
Maryland,
potato
as a
salad,
result of this situation.
cornbread,
Yes, the
macaroni and
white community
cheese.
in the state of
You
Maryland
know, I'm
does
just
put
saying
black
some
people in trees.
asparagus, deviled
do.
eggs,
They
something.
don't have no problem with it. Actually, people, I had a coworker, okay, this guy, law enforcement coworker, okay, no BS. He told me, this was like in the year of 2010, 2011. This dude had a black wife, okay? He lived in like Southern Maryland, deep in Southern Maryland. He told me that his black wife had a younger cousin, you know, young, 18, 19.
And his ass won't her.
Who was found hanging in a barn in Southern Maryland. Young black athlete, happy, energetic, you know, good grades, all that, going to college, had a white girlfriend. Okay, found him hanging in a barn. And he said this story never got to the news, nothing. And he says he knows for a fact. He said that boy wouldn't have hung himself. He said those people out there are different. But that's in a lot.
Y'all better warn your
every
family.
state,
You better warn
things
your
like
young
this
ones.
going on. Was not a suicide. That's what they said. His wife and her black family said, nah, this ain't happening. Like, ain't no way that he did this. Story never hit the news. But this happens all the time, people.
It's so many.
When these things go down,
so many of them.
A lot of times, majority of the time, these stories don't even hit the news. They hit the news when somebody wants them to, or if it gets to a certain person, or if there's some kind of other thing going on where they say, okay, we're going to let this story take priority, you know? So that's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. But you got to remember, it's also very easy for this to go down with
y'all better recognize that look.
Interracial relationship in
recognize that look.
Whether it's a guy or girl.
You see brother and sister out here and stuff, and you see that look in their eye.
Easy to get to because first, you know that
these people are typically
99% of the time,
they're
detached from their culture. They may be detached from their people, their family. They definitely are detached from their history. And sometimes they may be in a situation where they come from a black family that's just, you know, full of chaos and confusion and low vibrational stuff. And, you know, it could be hood stuff going on in their family. Who knows? But then they look at white people then like oh, this is different. Yeah. I want to get away from this situation. This is more calm and peaceful. But they have no clue. They have no clue. They may be getting marinated, you know, by these male monsters. The family of his white girlfriend from day one has no idea. And when it goes down, there's nothing that can be done because, again, these people are usually kind of detached from their people and their culture and family. So they're out in some white town. Family finds out he committed suicide. You know, the family's like, oh, we care, but, you know, you might have a mom crying or whatever, but after that, your people ain't really too beat because you wasn't that close to him anyway.
That ain't even finna cry.
You shouldn't have been. I don't know, you know?
What he just said. Because, you know, we are traumatized. Our communities, our neighborhoods, our families, we so intense with each other and irritated and impatient with each other and stuff. Our young ones do feel like, you know, it's peace over there. It's peace with white folks. It's better with white folks. It's opportunity with white folks. But it ain't. It truly is not. Because of the fact that Sabrina might be an opportunity, if that's what you say, you know. But the family, the clan don't want black people there. We can't keep ignoring and lying that, yeah, you got a good life, man. No, you don't. Your ass got a test in life. You is in danger. You risking everything. And now that baby he don't have this girl, that baby is lost. That baby is lost. Through that baby, his gene, his genetics, his contribution to black people, black life, black survival could be gone. You know they finna teach that baby, no, don't you bring them one home like your daddy. You better not bring a black man home. No. She finna stay there with the family and they finna teach that little girl. All it takes is 3 generations. 3 generations of telling that mixed child to be with white people, find a white spouse. It wiped that That black contribution right on out of there. Yeah, I didn't know it either.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure
Every
did.
situation is different. So it's very easy for these folks, these interracial people, to get put up in a tree. And most of the time when they're out with these people, because of a situation they may have come from with their black people, they're just out there basking in the whiteness, happy. No care in the world, getting on boats, drinking and all kind of other stuff. You know? You see how in this story, he went to this super white place, Cumberland, Maryland.
Cumberland,
Okay?
Maryland.
To be with his so-called girlfriend.
Who in
white
Cumberland,
baby mother,
Maryland now?
and her uncle, who's
See
not
this
even
video?
on the
You
side
got some
of the
family there, close to
that
there?
owns the property. Okay,
We don't
he was
know
sitting in
these
the kitchen,
people.
real cocky, up in her house. Her uncle probably liked her. Maybe her uncle, you know, who knows? Be weird stuff going on. You know what I mean? What's he doing in there? Who let him in? How does he even have the key? The white girl gave it to him. She gave him approval to do that. So the white girl, she wants to sleep with these black men because, you know, she can't get a decent white man who's taking advantage of being white in America. They don't want her. But she respects white men. Actually, she respects white men so much that how dare she bring her trifling presence around a white man? No,
That's
let me
how
take
they
it to these
feel.
black dudes. Got her uncle sitting up in the house. You know what I mean? That's why he was in their spot. Sitting there, cocky, racist. He's like, get out of here. You got to leave.
Y'all, let's read that
To
right
these
there.
black dudes.
Let's read this right here, because when you are moving and stuff and relocating, we really should know the demographics of where we moving at and stuff. Don't move your ass to the boondocks, them little hick towns and stuff, and it's a majority of white folks there, and then the blacks that is there could possibly be in the sunken place. That's why they asked that. So it says Cumberland, Maryland offers a blend of small town charm, natural beauty, and historical appeal with an affordable cost of living, making it a potentially good place to live for those seeking a quieter lifestyle and access to outdoor recreation.
Her uncle sitting up in the house. You know what I mean? That's why he was in their spot. Sitting there, cocky, racist. He's like, get out of here. You got to leave. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's what he was like. And the race and ethnicity. White people is 86.8%, 2+ of non-Hispanic, 5.64%, Black or African American, 4.6%, 2+ Hispanic, 0.855%, and white Hispanic, 0.792%. I know at one time all I knew was white and black anyway.
Now here's the part where, you know, somebody's going to get lynched.
You see that small number?
Found somewhere.
That's what we want to be looking at.
You know,
us.
You see, he said the police called him. You see, he said the police called him.
The police.
Why the police calling him for nothing? Has nothing to do with them. These Mayo monsters say, get out of town.
Yeah.
But look, at least they forewarned him. They didn't have to. They could have easily rocked him to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to do. Easy to rock a interracial. Easy, man. Rock an interracial black man to sleep with him. Come on, man. And a white girlfriend, she'll set him up. Whether she knows it or not. See, that's the thing. These girls don't always know that they setting you up.
Because I already said they ain't telling Sabrina shit.
They don't even know sometimes. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. It's just a simple phone call. They're acting all cool and normal. They might be having a fair or bonfire or something like that. And they call the white girl up. Hey, Jules, is Quadarius, is he coming with you? Is he coming to the fair? Is Quadarius? Oh, yeah. We'll be there. Okay, I'll see you guys there.
That's how it goes.
And that's how it goes down, y'all. You know what I mean? Listen, people. You know what? Check this out right here. Check this out. Check this out. I'm going to read a response to this brother's video from a white supremacist. And I hope that nobody takes this advice and doesn't really fall for this okie doke. This is what this white supremacist said right here in response to that video. I'm sorry to say that, but it's not because you are black. It's because they probably see you as a broke freeloader, the owner of the property. Doing the right thing is marrying the woman and providing your own space for you two. She moved 3 hours away near family because she didn't think she had this kind of support from you. You moving in there with her is a beta move. It's not about being black, it's about being broke. And if I were you, I would have fought for the mother of my child and taken her with me, not leave her behind. For anybody who may fall for this white supremacist,
you keep your ass here.
Okay, because some people do fall for this stuff. Being a black man with money does not change the sick racist hearts of white Americans, okay? See, the brother in that...
And then why would she say that the man was working? He was working. See, she moved her ass back where her family was at because she had already got the man and the baby. That's why she moved her ass back where they was at.
Video actually,
fucking thinking.
To me, he's in a better position because he can see the truth. You know, it'd be more authentic. You know, he's got a job. He's probably okay mentally. He is confused, but, you know, he don't have money like that. He out here, you know, trying to make it. Now, if he had some money, some real money, like an athlete or a rapper or something like that, some people who may have some money, a CEO, a lawyer, you know, he may get some temporary, fake, superficial acceptance from the white family. You know what I'm saying? It'll be fake.
Yeah, but you're still in there.
You see these guys in those professions, you know, they have, you know, money and things like that. And white people typically do dislike them. Of course, that's an American thing. They usually are racist, but he's got some money and he's going to get us this, and that. And, you know, he's going to make sure this, and Jules and Emily are going to make sure that our accounts are okay. So let's deal with this N-word for the meantime. And then these same black dudes that are in these positions, they may be all in, blind and confused, thinking, oh, these white people like me. They're nice to me.
Like they
no, they don't like you. They don't. They're just beneficiaries of your ignorance and blindness, and you have some money that they can get, okay? Also, to this comment right here, white supremacists in the comments, white lady, this is what I would say to that situation, okay? Since it's all about the black man right here not having money. Why is this white girlfriend that he has, a baby mother, even in a position? Why is she out here messing with a black dude, okay? Why is she messing with a black man who works at the AT&T store and moves into her place? People, I'm not knocking a black man that works at the AT&T store anywhere, okay? I'm speaking in context of this video. Why is this white woman, you know, messing with him, okay? The person who left the comment tried to make it sound like this young black man is like, oh, you don't have money, which is all this is about. It's only about money. No, just the fact that this girl right here, who is the baby mother or is with this black dude in the video, she's with a black man, that means that she failed as a white American in the first place. She's a failure, and her family failed, okay? This is a black man who doesn't have money. So I would ask, what's up with the dysfunction in her family? Why didn't they hook her up with, you know, the son of one of her father's or grandfather's business partners or something like that? Some other young white man who's thriving and taking advantage of being white in America. The reason why they didn't, because this girl, who is the baby mother and girlfriend of this young black man in the video, she doesn't qualify for any of them. She don't qualify. What she actually qualifies for in the white community is so nasty and disgusting and dirty and ringwormed out that she can't stomach it, okay? And white people know that at the end of the day, their whiteness can at least get them a decent black person. White people know this. They know. Okay, people, so at the end of the day, man, people going to do whatever they want to do. Okay, they're going to do whatever they want to do. But look, if you are somebody who is in charge of a young person whose brain isn't fully developed yet, their life or whatever, you know, you got a young black son, nephew, whoever, you know, they're out there hanging with Emily, hanging with Jules and them, you know, all they doing is chasing their lower half. Maybe they are under the Caucasian European hypnosis spell as well and doing both. But, you know, you got to really watch. They don't know how to think. You may say something, they'll try to think they know more than you. But if you really care, you know, if you think you could break them down, you got to be all the way in their business. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of the background of the relationship with it might be, you know what I mean? But you got to be all in their business because this stuff goes down more than people think. It's not in the news, people. Some of it is, but it ain't. You know, but they can possibly be in a very dangerous situation. And if they continue to stay in that, hopefully they dodge a bullet while learning a lesson. A lot of people, they need a little whooping to learn a lesson. You know, catch him out there somewhere, some white boys, you know, kick some skin off his forehead or something, but he lived, you know, dunk his head underwater a few times. He get real scared, he run away, learn a lesson. I hope that these young people can learn a lesson without losing their life. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going down, people. Anyway, also, people, just want to pop up at the end of this video. Check out the great Dr. Regina Jennings channel, okay, for people who want to learn something about their history. Dr. Regina Jennings is on YouTube. She's teaching people. She is a member of the original Black Panther Party. She's got a lot of stuff going on. So if you're somebody who's serious and wants to learn some things,
Regina Official
go by her channel. It's going to pop up at the end of this video. And easy.
Earth is trying to get rid of those who have brought her down and change the vibration back to a complete magnetic frequency, which will put you in tune with the universal prime cosmic creator. If you have pineal pituitary soul spirit affinity. If you don't, it is time to get off the planet, go to its higher heavens, or go elsewhere for your teachings. We don't want that. So as long as we don't want it and we do not channel in those vibrations, we do not raise the frequency to try and match it, we become alien to the planet where we used to be terrestrial.
You know, I got my little loops and stuff because I keep us on loop. I sure will. Good day. How you doing, D. Willis? And hey, Letitia, my sister. Good day. Let me put some sun in here. I hope it don't, be too much static and stuff. Because I like the sun and stuff. And we ain't really watching TV now. I just wanted us to see that video. Tell your family and friends and stuff, they better be very particular. Follow their intuition. When they go out with Sabrina and Karen and Brad and the uncles and stuff and the great uncles, because them folks don't like us. I don't care. If you got a little money and stuff, yeah, they'll tolerate you a little better. But, you see where she was trying to justify it ain't about black is because you're broke. That man had a job just like some people ain't even got a job. At least he had a job that he went to 40 hours a week. They're just always trying to excuse it. But go to Runaway Channel, Runaway Slave, them channels in Taylor House Publishing. And it'll let you know it's still going on. White folks ain't really taught themselves, their children. They ain't changed nothing. We done found out now where that beast nature come from. On us. And y'all things is setting itself up now where that beastly nature can, it'll, come out on our asses again. It didn't go nowhere. This did not go nowhere. I promise you it did not. It said that when white folks come to that limit and feel like they done lost everything and they ain't got control no more, especially us, then they finances, they kids being like us, want to be like us and stuff, bringing us around and, shit like that. All that's going to tip them off. All that's going to tip them off. And I feel like, I saw that video where white men, they was at some retreat. Brother God, I'm not trying to say your name and stuff, a lot of people, because I know I'm different. I don't want folks to be like, well, we ain't fucking with you no more. And you fuck with face. But I'm just telling it. I see it. Everybody ought to be telling what it looked like to them. But anyway, y'all, with some retreat and white men was just growling around on the ground. They were rolling around. You know how dogs roll out in mud and puddles and stuff? That's how they were doing. Just flipping around and growling. Then they'll jump up and roar. They would, I don't know. All like that resonated with me was that's how they restrained that beastly nature that came out on my ancestors. That's how they do it. I don't know where to retreat at if I ever find it, because I've been like, ancestors, let me find that channel. Let me find that channel. Because that's what we're not seeing. The animals literally gonna have to tell y'all, Black America, who white folks really are. They gonna have to tell you. They self. They can't wait to tell us too. Sure, okay, you better ask them some questions. As soon as you see your dog standing up, I don't care if you at work and the Ring camera caught his ass. Soon as you see that, as soon as you get in his face where he at, you at home or whatever, you better tell him. Ask him. Now tell me what them other dogs be telling you is going on with white folks. Because white folks is really more beastly than the animals on the planet. The animals on the planet probably feel trapped, indoctrinated. Hell, if they finna talk, I'm just saying. Shit, don't tell me that my mind ain't thinking, oh shit, you crazy face. Yeah, when that dog said, what? Shit, Scooby-Doo my ass. Dogs is finna let us know how we didn't know. They gonna ask us, how the hell y'all didn't know? Butch, your dog, yeah, your pit bull and your Rottweiler and stuff, your little Pomeranians and stuff, they gonna ask y'all, how the hell y'all didn't know black people? After all y'all been through. See, that right there. It's all about this. It's all about us, our ancestors. That's why it's being revealed. It ain't being revealed for nothing. Oh, just so you could just turn a blind eye now. Oh, none of this even matters. Yeah. Turn on Jerry Springer or some shit like that. This is a whole new awakening for us. And white folks ain't white folks. Hell, I don't know who the hell they is. Shit, I just realized that things is different. Shit, hell, I thought they were truly a people, a kind of a people, but they are a kind of beast, is what they asses is. That's what they've been to us, to my people. That's what they've been to my people. And then for my people to allow us to still be among them. It just, yeah, I'm damn near speechless. Damn near. I'm not. That's like I'm almost speechless, but I'm not speechless. Because we need to know. We need to know. Would nobody have known what would have happened if they found our brother talking about he hung himself or some shit like that? They would have came up with anything. Yeah, and where brother was saying that she didn't know she was leading him there to that. Yes, she did. She know how her mama and her great uncle are. She know they don't like black people just because she coming with a baby. Hell, what that's supposed to mean? What does that supposed to mean? Why they didn't tell her ass? No, Sabrina, now, you know we don't want them people around us. Or however they tell them. Instead of what? They tell them, bring them on. Well, bring them. Yeah, we'll get it. Like they did on Get Out. I don't know how it all works. But I know it ain't working for us. It's harming us. It sure will, honey. It is harming us. All I can say for us and stuff is we better start looking in the eyes of our people. Especially our people in these interracial relationships. So you better start looking at their eyes and shit. I don't know if the nod gonna be enough. I don't know if that's gonna be enough. I don't. But I know one thing, you better start looking in their eyes and stuff. You know, if you in a place together and stuff and everybody sitting down and stuff, you know, and everybody just doing them and stuff, and you see them over there and stuff, and brother sat down and he cool at first. He interacting and participating and and laughing and, you know, and he just fitting in, but then you get to looking at him and stuff, honey, and he just starts staring off and stuff, honey, and it seemed like all of a sudden, I don't know hell who tapped the cup and it did something. But we better start looking in our eyes. Shit, I don't know, go up and pinch his ass or something. You better say, call on your ancestors. Call on your ancestors. You better be specific because we're in a spiritual war right here. We ain't in no religious war. White folks ain't even religious shit. White folks ain't even got no communion with God. You see how they unleashing on your ass out there? White folks ain't got no spirit with the higher creator. Shit. And then to find out Adam and Eve. Adam was that man, Pelagus. The story of Adam and Eve. Adam is truly Pelagus, y'all. Pelagus became Capricornus, whatever his name is. Capricornus. Yeah. Adam is really Pelagus. Pelagus became Capricornus. Capricornus, he celebrated in the celebration, is really Valentine's Day, but the celebration of Capernalia. It's a celebration that was on February the 15th, y'all. And they ran through the streets with blood on the weeds and stuff. And they whipping women with the bloody weeds and whipping the crops and stuff for fertility and stuff. They sacrificing animals. They drinking blood, rubbing blood all on them and stuff. And then they rub milk on them for purification. Yep, that's your Valentine's Day. That's Adam and Eve. That ain't our beginning. You a damn lie. That is not my beginning. If you're a black person, and I'm telling you, that might be your beginning. You might still, no, face it's Adam and Eve for me. That might be for you, and you wrong. Because it ain't for me. Nope, it don't even work for me. So, if you wrong, you are wrong, honey. Adam and Eve is white folks' beginning. They white folks' beginning. And so Pelagius, he was the king of the Arcadians. The Arcadians. When you look up the Arcadians, they were beast-like. They was beast-like. What that video is? I just seen that today. And I think I saved it in this playlist right here because I was like, hold on. So you telling me this is where their beastly nature come from. I don't know. I don't want to go through all of these. But I just seen it. I'm just appalled that nobody even knew. And nobody tried to tell us these things. Yeah, that's fucked up. But I will. I'm going to let my people know. Yeah, you better have black babies. That's why I say have black babies. Oh, and another thing, you can only get that, look at that right there. White woman says her people are more anti-black racist.
A brother on X, formerly known as Twitter, made an excellent post that I agree with. And this is what he said. Once us black Americans stopped being so inclusive, the world started losing their minds. And he is...
Oh, ain't that the truth? Once we stop being involved, you better get ready. I just said it. Once white America feel like they done lost all control, ain't no going back. And they go ahead and decide, we just gonna go ahead and fix things with Brad, because that's really who the missus and the master is. I mean, shit. Hell, sister, your ass ain't missus. Shit, hell, Karen fuck around, come up in there and kick that whole door off the hinges. Because Karen and them been running. Sabrina been doing push-ups. They running. And, they out there flexing and stuff. You're going to have to fight for your life. You're going to have to fight for your life and stuff. It is what it is because you let it happen. You sat there and mingled and married and stuff. But, she's saying, the white woman, why there ain't been no told black people this? How they family really feel. Yeah, I really do love you. I really do want to be with you and we could do some things, but my family is racist. They will kill you and act like you did it to yourself. Why not just tell us that? I mean, damn. Is it really true love? I'm just saying. Is it really true love? I want to find that video. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find that video. Oh, shit. Yeah. This right here just 3 minutes. Let's go on and watch it. I ain't even watched all of it. I just say it.
Of course, I always say this, and it's not an original thought to me, but black Americans especially are the only group of people that want to include everybody. We want to invite them to the cookout. We want to invite them to the picnic because they can dance or they can sing or whatever it is. That's, come on, that's Uncle So-and-so. And he, don't look nothing like you. Or whatever the case is. We want to include everybody. We're also the only group of people that says, well, you can't help who you love. I don't see race. And then we have, Bakisha sitting all up at the Thanksgiving table, but you can't go to her family and do that because they don't tell their people, you can't help who you love. They're like, nah, Bakisha, Becky, we call her Bakisha. You better not be bringing no black man home, which is why she's sitting at the black table because we're like, well, we don't act like that. We don't think that way. Come on in. And then she run off with the casserole. No, we don't do casserole, but the stuffing recipe. Because we inviting everybody in. But to his point, now that we're stopped doing that as much, we're not really including everybody. We're kind of like, hey, you know what? Since we're not getting what we want, we've tried to help everybody else. And Everybody else that we've helped, they got everything they want while leaving us high and dry. Yeah, we're just going to sit back and do whatever it is we're doing. Now, we should be building. A lot of people, Black Americans say, well, I'm just going to sit back and eat popcorn. Nah, ain't the time to be eating no popcorn.
So what?
Now's the time to be building. Getting together and say, okay, bet, this is what we need to do. What is the strategy? And go with the action plan. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's what we should be doing. But yeah,
wash, rinse,
we have to stop going to everybody else's burning building and putting their
I know that's right.
Houses burning all to the ground. And then when we say, hey, now that I helped you put your building out, can you come help me? Come on. You know what I'm saying? So now that we are not being inclusive, again, we need to build. But that brother's absolutely right. Everybody's lost their minds because they're saying, well, where's the Black American community to help us? Minding our business, because we see that it's gotten us nowhere. When we helped you, you were helped, you know, especially when we voted for the Democrat Party. They helped you, especially if you're a Latino or immigrant. You got everything you wanted and then some. And Black America's got nothing. We got hope and change that you can't believe in. So yeah, y'all have to figure it out. And I'm sorry that you're losing your minds, but I'm glad that we found ours.
I know that's right.
Let me know what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra K Show, here on YouTube.
And that's our sister, Demetra K. Yep, and that's with African diaspora.
So leaving high school, I went directly in.
All them other stuff on my TV and stuff. I'd rather have, you know, somebody that I listen to on there. Yeah. But you know, we just gotta be open to waking up. I know that light is so bright. I'm gonna have to change it back around and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change it back around. I can just slide my ass over there. Yeah, oh y'all, look what I found. I know you had better make some noise. I know, right? Words to change the world. And Faden. I ain't never heard of that name before. I don't know who that is. Fighting, might be fighting. But yeah. Women's March, Arab Spring, Cape Town Peace March, Tiananmen Square, Stonewall Rise, Civil Rights March on Washington. Every area is defined by its protests, and a new wave of resistance is sweeping the globe as citizens take to the streets to defend their rights and values. Property concedes nothing without a demand, wrote abolitionist Frederick Douglass. It never did, and it never will. I got that over there on the wall. Been having that thing for like 6, 7, 12 years now. Yeah, but I said I ain't gonna put it on another piece of paper. I just gonna stick it up on the wall and stuff so I can remember. See? Yep. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. It is not the light that we need, but fire. It is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake. Yeah, but I found this right here. I was looking through the books and stuff. And we're going to read it. It's got some really great. Oh, I see Toni Morrison right there. Yep. It's just got some quotes in it and stuff. And they by everybody. All races, I imagine. Yeah, because I don't even know some of these people stuff. Richard Ford. The words we use are the worlds we live in. In a real sense, we are what we quote. You had better make some noise. Malcolm X. Yeah, see, look. Malcolm X. I know it. Get your book, start your library. If you can read, get your reading channel. We all got different books. If people come on your channel and stuff and they got the same books, open it up where y'all can read together. You got the same books. They read chapter 1. Because I'm waiting, whoever got their books, the same books I got that we reading and stuff, we should put it together. I see 2 screens on the side now. So I guess that's another person could get on. I don't know. But if we got the same books, I can read a chapter. You can read a chapter. You know, it don't matter. We can just, that way we'll get more done. You know, I'm just saying. But let's read. You know, we still reading More Dirty Little Secrets by Dr. Claude Anderson and Brent Anderson about Black history as heroes and other troublemakers. This is volume 2. I do not have volume 1. So where were we here? We read about when the Indians were told to get real names. I think we read about, we read the first 2 Black Miss Americas because we read about Vanessa Williams. Oh, Spanish men prefer Black women. We read about the African princess who haunts a plantation. You know, she had a change of heart. She was married to the white master and stuff, and or mistress or whatever she was and stuff. But when he died and stuff, he left her everything, and she had a change of heart when he died and stuff. And but then it said in her afterlife and stuff, her ghost never left. Her ghost stayed at the plantation house, y'all, waiting on him to come back. So was she even sincere when she had that change of heart for her people? And her name was Anna Magdalene J. Kingsley. So, you know, that was kind of like, yeah. A transvestite Union spy. Yeah, we didn't read this one yet. Americans are familiar with 20th century spies like Mata Hari, Matahari, Mata Hari, a seductress, and Ethel Rosenberg, a traitor and communist sympathizer. But how many Americans know of Miss Sarah Emma Edmonds, a young Canadian white nurse who was a resourceful and skilled spy during the American Civil War? Miss Sarah Edmonds became known as the famous Federal Soldier Girl. What made Miss Edmonds such a unique spy was the fact that in the early 1860s, she successfully disguised herself as a Black man. In her disguise, she was known as Franklin Thompson, a male nurse in the Union Army, 2nd Michigan Regiment. In the early years of the Civil War, Miss Edmonds confined her spying to the eastern South. She worked the Confederate camps and battle lines, penetrating rebel headquarters, securing secrets on military strengths and strategies, then delivered detailed plans and charts to officials in the Union Army. While passing as a Black man, her cover was never broken. This was quite a feat for a white woman at the time, when being a Black man in and of itself was extremely risky. Prior to the end of the war, the Union Army relocated her to a military unit in St. Louis, Missouri, that reportedly was running over with Confederate spies. Believing in the old adage that it takes one to know one, the Union Army asked her to play the role of a spy detective. She succeeded in discovering and exposing a Confederate spy ring operating among Union troops. After the war, Sarah Edmonds received a big thanks and a monthly pension of $12 from the federal government. Her adventures are recorded in the book Unsexed, or The Female Soldier. The real significance of her story is the fact that her accomplishments occurred while she pretended to be a Black male at a time when white women were supposed to be aloof, dainty, and fragile. Yeah, right, I know. Spanish men preferred Black women. Once upon a time, Spanish men were known for their desire for Black women. In 1442, 50 years before the discovery of the Americas, Spain had a high population of African Blacks. Portuguese slave traders had transported many Black slaves to Spain. Also, because of the physical closeness of Spain to Africa, Black Africans had freely migrated to and spread throughout Spain. In the early 1500s, Spaniards were noticeably changing from blonde and blue-eyed to black hair and brown-eyed. African women stimulated a new appetite in the Spanish men. Both free and bonded Black women became exotic items. There was a cry for La Morena. Yeah, La Morena. That's what it said. There was a cry for La Morena, the brown-skinned woman with jet black eyes. At the same time that the Black woman was becoming the symbol of beauty and the target of sexual desires in Spain, nature was taking its due course to a lesser degree between Spanish women and Black men. The sexual evolution changed hair texture, skin color, and eye color throughout Spanish-speaking societies. Ironically, the modern-day image of bronze-skinned, hot-blooded Hispanics and Latinos are never associated with the genes of their African ancestors. Wow. And then on a lot of them documents, it says white. Riding a jackass of shame. Though crime is never a laughing matter, at times in our history, crimes and punishment have been humorous and sometimes even ridiculous. This was especially true in white male and white female relationships. For instance, when black slavery officially began in the mid-1400s, some European societies had a practice of publicly shaming women who mistreated their husbands. Women who were found guilty of beating or hen-pecking their husbands had to ride the back of a jackass through town facing backwards. If the husband shouldered any of the blame for having failed or refused to defend himself against his wife, he was subject to equal embarrassment. The husband had to personally lead the jackass with his wife riding and looking backwards through the city streets. Historical records do not show a similar punishment for a man who browbeat or abused his wife. Consequently, social biases define gender roles. At that period in European history, chivalry entitled women to ride an ass, and weak men were qualified only to lead an ass. Sexism smothers racism. In the late 1960s, see these titles and stuff like sexism and stuff, we didn't really know what that is and stuff, where I come from. We don't know what all these titles and all these labels are. Shit, what? That's a whole lesson in itself. All of this could be so overwhelming. And you know, to pick up a book, you might have to fight because it's so unusual. It's unreal. It's not, part of our day-to-day life. Sexism smothers racism. In the late 1960s, conservative social forces used Title IX in the 1965 Civil Rights Bill as a platform to effectively stymie the Black Civil Rights Movement, shift the nation's attention away from racial justice and Black rights, and refocus attention to sexism and gender rights. Yeah, did you get that? Yeah. In 1960s, the late 60s, conservative social forces used Title IX in the 1965 Civil Rights Bill as a platform to effectively stymie the Black Civil Rights Movement, shift the nation's attention away from racial justice and away from Black rights, and refocus our attention on sexism and gender rights. That's why we don't focus on us no more. They designed it that way. They planned it that way for us to not focus on us, give all our attention to them and what they think we should be looking at. That's what it says. When women's issues were placed in the same category with slavery and structural racism, the move gave the ruling white male an alternative to eradicating racism. Refocusing on women's issues and giving them a minority preference was a win-win situation for the ruling class. White males knew their wives, their daughters, their sisters, their mothers, and any other female member of the white race would outrank Black people in affirmative action programs. Oh, this is a lot right here. All this knowledge, I should annotate this. Moreover, equating gender issues to racism makes white women eligible for double or triple benefits. White women are a majority group that gets additional benefits for being female, displacing Black people, and masquerading as a minority while continuing to enjoy the advantages of being white. Her ass is protected and funded. Yeah, the white woman is protected and funded from any of this. Sure wills, honey. Ooh-wee. Ironically, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a landmark piece of legislation, was originally intended to forbid racial discrimination against Black Americans. The Title IX amendment that added gender to the Constitution was successfully passed into law as a joke to sidetrack civil rights legislation for black people. Yep. Wow. They added that as a joke. See, we're a joke. They see us as a joke. That's how white folks see us now. But we playing chess now, y'all. Ain't no more motherfucking checkers. Push that shit off the table. We playing chess with they motherfucking asses now. Keep your money. Spend your money with black people and have black babies. You got kids with white folks and stuff, especially if you ain't together and stuff. Go get your kids. I don't care if it's 50-50. Joint custody. If it's got to be just the summers, just the holidays, so you can monitor and be with your child some kind of way as they grow up until they get of age and say, hey, Dad, I want to come and live with you. I got to come and live with you. Dad, oh, Mom, I need to come and live with you. I don't know, but I know you better put your eyes on the prize. Sure better, honey. Representative Howard Smith, a Virginia Democrat and white racist, added the gender issue to the 1964 Civil Rights Bill in the belief that it would kill the bill. Representative George William Andrews of Alabama supported the gender amendment because he believed white women were members of the white skin color team. Representative Andrews said, unless the amendment is adopted, the white women of this country will be drastically discriminated against in favor of a Negro woman. So see, we'll never be equal. You'll never be equal, even though white folks now, white women finna come out the bag. Oh no, Face, that's a lie. I ain't got a dime or a dollar. I'm struggling just like you are, Face. I ain't got nothing. I don't even know how I'm gonna get through and eat and pay my bills and stuff. That's because your ass ain't went home and ain't folded in with them. But see, them attics and stuff, them basements, all that hidden that they got, all that right there is for you. That's for yours. As soon as you get right, then yeah. So don't sit there and act like, no, I ain't got nothing. I ain't had nothing. I worked for all of this and stuff. That's because you wanted to. You didn't give in. You didn't fold. You just like, yeah, I'm just Sabrina, though. So, it's fucked up. I don't know. I'm just trying to put together how y'all is, too. I ain't never had to think like this, trying to figure out who the fuck y'all is. Who the fuck is white folks? And, in all of this, trying to heal us, see what's wrong with my people. And then it's like, well, damn, who are white folks? I really just want to know. In the back of my mind, I really, really want to know. Exactly what are y'all? You can tell us now. Oh, you can tell us now. Yeah, well, Face, and then shape shift to that beast. When I find that video, y'all gonna see how they look, how that Neanderthal looked. It looked like a wolf that was standing straight up. They was all hairy, stringy hair in there. And the fur looked at oily and stuff. And yeah, they were beasts. And y'all gonna see. Go on and tell us. That's who I was wondering. Is that what my ancestors seen? Them last few moments. And is that what Willie Brown seen them last few moments? Isaac McGee. And they were encroaching up on them, crawling up on them, cutting off fingers and toes and beating them and stuff. Did they finally reveal themselves in that last moment to their victims? I don't know, just trying to think about this and make sense of this and stuff. Yeah, it makes you think about a whole lot of things. I don't even want no garden snakes around my ass. Sure, don't fuck them. Shit. And y'all better start thinking the same way, too. Representative Howard Smith, a Virginia Democrat and white racist, added the gender issue to the 1964 Civil Rights Bill in the belief that it would kill the bill. Representative George William Andrews of Alabama supported the gender amendment because he believed white women were members of the white skin color team. Representative Andrews said, unless the amendment is adopted, the white women of this country will be drastically discriminated against in favor of a Negro woman. We got to pass this to make sure that white women are always protected and provided for. So that's why they did it. Because they looked at it like, if we don't put this in place right here, black women, it's going to be chosen to receive the help, the sympathy, the finances, So, yeah, it's fucked up. And then white women, how many of y'all white friends and stuff done told y'all motherfucking asses, yeah, I get an allotment every 6 months. It's only $3,500, but I get an allotment every 6 months. Those that do, I'm just asking. Shit. Hell. Yeah, I'm just saying. Maybe not. Nearly all white males rose and supported the Gender Equity Amendment. Once he put it like that, almost all their asses stood up. Yep. With confusion sufficiently sowed, SOWED, a vote was held. The odd coalition of white racists and pro-feminist liberals prevailed. The derailment of the Black Civil Rights Movement succeeded in shifting this nation's attention and resources to women, minorities, and children. Yep. When they ran the Black Civil Rights Movement off the road with that. Yep. Immediately, women's issues began to totally supplant race issues. For example, in the state of Florida, when the 69 school counties were surveyed to find out how they preferred to spend their school funds, desegregating schools for blacks or Title IX for women, all 69 school districts voted to spend their funds on Title VI for women. Within one generation, the number of civil rights lawyers who would accept racial discrimination cases dwindled to a very few. Nearly 99% of all discrimination litigation focused on gender or sexual orientation issues. Most public and private affirmative action programs had results similar to the state of Texas, where white women received 78% of all contracted goods and services. Similar figures appear in the affirmative action programs in the private sector corporations like Coca-Cola, where women receive as much as 68% of contracted services and goods. Title VI has done its job. Man, I'm telling you, we can't win for losing with these folks. You just can't. So all this inclusion that we under is not even true. It's not. Who is this behind me playing? Oh, our brother. I know I'm going to let him play too. So is women boxers. Although the public seems to have mixed feelings about female boxing, Layla Ali, the beautiful daughter of Muhammad Ali, has done a lot to popularize boxing as a women's sport. Like her father, Layla Ali is strong, skillful, and confident in her abilities to meet and defeat female opponents. According to Jet magazine, in March 2003, Layla Ali, the 25-year-old boxer, held all 3 middleweight titles. Her professional record was 14-0, with 11 knockouts in her 4-year career. However, Layla Ali was not the first black female professional boxer. Historical records indicate Emma Maitland, Maitland, a lightweight, and Aurelia Wheeldon, Arelia Wheeldin, a bantamweight, were 2 earlier black female fighters, though they never actually entered a professional boxing ring in America. Instead, they accompanied vaudeville acts and boxed on stage rather than in rings. Both fighters toured and fought in Europe, Cuba, and Mexico during the mid-20s, 1920s. They were noted dancers and singers and boxers. Wow. They were noted dancers and singers, but achieved their greatest notoriety from professional boxing. At the pinnacle of their boxing careers, they earned a whopping $100 an hour. But that was a lot of money in those days, especially for black women. In September 2005, Layla Ali announced in Jet magazine that she was retiring from boxing while she was still undefeated. And while she did not say it, still beautiful. Yeah. I did hear some stuff about Layla and what's sister name? Yeah, I must not be meant to say it because I forgot. A black woman in the Wild West. Clarissa? Yeah, that wasn't it. A black woman in the Wild West. Black women who went west had to be just as strong and self-reliant as black men. One such free black woman was ex-slave Elvira Conley. She was a tall and strong black woman who, after being free from slavery in St. Louis, decided to move further west to Sheridan, Kansas. Like most of the West following the Civil War, Sheridan, Kansas was a wild town filled with reckless spirits and lawlessness. The slavery experience had conditioned Elvira for anything and everything. She was ready, honey. She was not intimidated by threats resulting from her sex or her skin color. She was unafraid of the town's assorted races, gamblers, prostitutes, crooks, and killers. Elvira's skin was deep ebony black. She was black, blackety black, and she was proud, y'all. She knew who she was. One person who knew her said, the majesty of her bearing, her great pride always commanded respect. She was so well received by the town, y'all, that she experienced little difficulty in opening a laundromat that soon became a thriving business. The quality of her work and personality helped her laundromat draw customers and some of the town's leading characters. Two of her most famous customers were Wild Bill Hickok, Hickok, and Buffalo Bill. In her later years, she told some of her friends how these two famous persons would walk into her laundry in their broad-brimmed hats, carrying their shirts, which were made of a fine dark flannel and needed special care. As a result of the special treatment she gave her laundry, the three became close friends who shared stories and jokes. Their friendship provided some protection for Elvira, an unattached woman in a rough town. Their reputations may have been dubious, but Elvira kept a high opinion of both Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill. As usual with Hollywood, when the television series Deadwood, I never did watch that, but I seen it. I remember seeing it. As usual with Hollywood, when the television series Deadwood aired in 2004, Wild Bill Hickok, the central character, was surrounded by whites, Indians, and Asians, but no Elvira or black men who actually made up nearly 1/3 of the cowboys in the real West. Eventually, the Wild West ceased being wild. After years of operating her laundry, Elvira met a wealthy white family who persuaded her to give up her laundry business and become their governess. For the next 60 years, she lived well, traveling with the family around the world, but she never lost her Wild West spirit or her black pride. I just hope it was worth it. I just hope it was worth it to her. You know, my sister. I just hope it was worth it to her. Benjamin Franklin's illegitimate son. Benjamin Franklin was strongly opposed to the enslavement of American blacks. Without a doubt, Benjamin Franklin was also one of the most famous men in the world during his time. Children learned early in elementary school that Benjamin Franklin invented the printing press and foolishly discovered electricity by flying a kite with a key on a string in a lightning storm. But few have heard about his sexual transgressions, and even fewer about the relationship he had with his illegitimate son. Although not formally married, Benjamin Franklin had a common law wife named Deborah Franklin. This common law marriage did not stop Benjamin from openly and notoriously courting a variety of young ladies of his day. Eventually, one became pregnant. Since he was such a well-known person, he felt obliged to do the right thing by his son. So he accepted the child and took him home to live with him and his common law wife, Deborah. Some would say Benjamin Franklin's decision was outrageous. Deborah was understanding of Frank's dilemma and agreed to raise the child, who they named William. To make the situation more family-oriented, Benjamin brought the illegitimate child's white mother into his house as a maid. As William grew into manhood, the father-son relationship was good. William helped Benjamin write and publish Poor Richard's Almanac, a handbook of practical advice for productive living. When Franklin conducted his experiments to draw lightning from the clouds with a kite and key, he asked William to be a dutiful son and to run around the cow pasture holding the kite while lightning was flashing. Had the boy known more about lightning strikes or inherited his father's good senses, he would not have risked his life to please his father. However, the good father-son relationship did not last. William disagreed with Benjamin over the writing of the Declaration of Independence and the Revolutionary War. When the war broke out, Benjamin broke with his son and had him arrested and imprisoned in a solitary cell containing only old straw and human waste. William was denied writing paper, clean clothes, and even bathing or toilet facilities. During his 3 years of imprisonment, William lost his hair, his teeth, and his wife, who died. When William was finally released from prison, Benjamin asked him to sign over all the property rights in repayment for money that he had spent on him as a child, and then he exiled him to England. Benjamin Franklin died alone in his bedroom. He never said goodbye to William, his illegitimate and only son, who he had spent years punishing for disagreeing with him. Well, damn. He probably should have just, I don't know. Red color was used to trick. Black people have always had a thing for the color red, which has a highly symbolic history. In the scriptures, red or scarlet was associated with sin. In modern times, the color red became associated with sex and prostitutes in the red light districts. According to Louis L. L'Amour, the Western fiction writers, the red light was associated with prostitution and red light districts because in the late 1800s, when train conductors visited houses of ill repute after dark, they often left their red lamps hanging outside. Whether a person was riding or walking, the red color or a red light has always signaled a person to stop. From its association with sin, the color red or scarlet evolved to signal danger. Stop or don't go there. Red has also been associated with American farming. By the 1800s, farmers across America were painting their barns red. European farmers, who traditionally painted their barns white, changed when they migrated to America during slavery and began painting their barns red. Some paint merchants claimed Americans painted their barns red because red paint was invented during slavery and it was cheaper than white paint. Other people claimed that barns were painted red because excitable and dangerous horses and bulls were housed in barns, and the color red signaled dangerous, keep out. When all is said and done, the color red had a special significance to people of African descent. Red cloth was used to entice and capture African blacks into slavery. Yeah, you heard that right. Red cloth was used to entice and capture African blacks into slavery. Esteban Montego, Estaban Montego, Esteban Montego, an African who ran away from a Cuban slave plantation in the 1800s, he told abolitionists how white slave traders used the color red. He said slave traders carried lots of scarlet cloth that they used to attract and capture blacks in Africa. Blacks were attracted to the bright colors, hoping to get some of the red cloth. Both the kings and the black villagers came to the slaveholders without even a struggle. Yep. When the African kings saw whites holding and waving red handkerchiefs, they told their people to go on and get a scarlet red handkerchief. When the African kings saw whites holding and waving red handkerchiefs, they told their people to go on and get a scarlet handkerchief. Black tribesmen were so excited by the scarlet, the red, that they ran down to the ships like unwary sheep to the slave traders and their slave boats. And all their ass was kidnapped. Every last one of them. Yep. So, it's just like they was on the dock at the ship. The white men were. They got all this red handkerchiefs and stuff. But they waving the red handkerchiefs and stuff. Now, see, they've been seeing little red handkerchiefs on the ground, hanging on a tree, or something like that. It looked like it's just, where does red come from? Ooh, this is so pretty. Then they kidnapped their ass. So they knew about the red. Maybe one or two made it back to the tribe and let them know, yeah, this red, I found this, And so they knew, when I find something, I'm going to get it too. But, most of the people that found the red got kidnapped. They just let a few make it back so they can spread the word that, hey, it's this red, pretty cloth out here. But what they saying right here is that when the African kings saw the white people holding and waving red handkerchiefs, they was at the boat. They didn't even come up on land. They was at the boat. Everybody waving red handkerchiefs. And black people, it said right here, black tribesmen were so excited by the scarlet, by the red, They ran down to the ships like unwary sheep to the slave traders and their slave boats. Yeah, just ran down there to them. That's why I said, we can't be wary. We got to be wary. Yes, always to something for us. In the 20th century, African and Black nationalists used red, green, and black in their designs and flags. The red color in the flags and designs symbolized blood that was shed by the millions of blacks who were tricked, enslaved, and colonized. A Lewis and Clark discovery. Every American history book talks about the Lewis and Clark expedition that explored the American Northwest between 1804 and 1806. While Lewis and Clark are credited with having discovered various mountain passes, waterways, and Indian tribes, nothing is said about York, the black slave, the guide, and the interpreter. He was the guide and the interpreter, whose diplomacy with the various Indian tribes made the expedition possible. If it wasn't for him, it wouldn't even been no damn expedition. York married an Indian woman and sired numerous mixed blood children. While nothing is said about York's role in the discovery of the Northwest Territory, nothing is said either about how the men in Lewis and Clark's party discovered venereal diseases in the wigwams of the Chinook Indians. Yeah, that's what it said. Perhaps it is only fair that the Indians repaid the white man for first introducing syphilis onto the North American continent. Fair or not, the Chinook Indian chief introduced members of the Lewis and Clark expedition to the tribe's women and to the world of syphilis. Lewis was a little wiser regarding Indians who came bearing gifts. He gave strict orders that his men were not to behave in any manner that would expose them to venereal diseases. But other than a verbal order, there was no attempts to stop them from indulging with Indian women. Though Lewis and Clark wrote in their laws that to prevent this mutual exchange of good offices on the part of our young men, whom some months' abstinence have made very polite to those tawny damsels, they themselves did not abstain from relations with Indian women. Mercury was the cure for VD in the early 1800s, and it was reported that the expedition spent many an hour rubbing the medication directly into the skin or swallowing a mercury derivative in pill form. Either treatment was guaranteed to prove the truthfulness of the popular adage: a night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury. Ooh-wee! Equality in a box. Y'all, this is Henry Box Brown. You know we learned about Henry Box Brown in one of our first books when we learned about the creativeness, that resilience, the geniusness that our ancestors went through to escape slavery. Oh, they are some wonderful stories getting away from slavery. Well, Henry Box Brown, y'all, I'm looking for it. Henry mailed himself to freedom. I don't know how many friends he told about it, but he thought about it. How can he get his freedom? And he put himself in a box. Somebody hammered him closed, and they stood it face side up, straight up, stuck a sticker on there, top side only, and he was just inside that box, just like that. He probably had a couple of biscuits, maybe a little small flask of water, because you don't want to be pissing and stuff on the ship, or they gonna see. I don't know what page it's on and stuff, but we read about Henry Box Brown, and it's worthy to read it again. I'm gonna find it. Let's read what they got right here. Dr. Claude Anderson. Henry Box Brown made a daring and difficult escape from slavery by concealing himself in a small box and having it shipped to his friends in a northern city. Was it Philadelphia? I don't know. Let's read. With little food and water, Henry Box Brown was fortunate. He arrived uninjured and a free man in the north. Hearing of his daring exploit, a black female slave decided to replicate the stunt, but things went wrong. The female was in the box too long and spent too much time upside down in the box. She arrived in Freedom Land with brain fever, another name for brain damage. She emerged from her box gray-headed, and appeared 10 years older than her actual age. Even though she had suffered permanent physical damages, she preferred living with her new handicaps in Jim Crow societies in the North to living under the handicapping conditions of slavery in the South. Apparently, brain damage was a small price to pay for freedom from slavery. Yep. Freedom from slavery. I don't know. What would you have did? Flip that whole damn box over? Maybe they would have thought, oh, shit, hell, a box just fell over. Somebody forgot to put the thing on the top side only. Yeah. One of these days, we're going to take a day and go over some of our stories and stuff of the escapes from slavery. How we were so creative to get away from their ass. Oh, honey, like Robert Smalls and the crew. Oh, you know they stole the whole ship. They stole the whole ship. Oh, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. When white women supported slavery, white women supported and benefited from black slavery just like white men. White women co-owned, co-controlled, co-influenced, and inherited nearly 100% of everything that white men gained from slavery. In a plantation field or in the home, white women's power was second only to that of the white male, unless they were her slaves. Unless they were her motherfucking slaves, like we reading about, they was her property. They was her property. Now, that ain't to say that, you know, white men didn't have their own slaves, because a lot of them did. It was just the poor white men who moved, you know, to another location and swept a white woman off her feet like he had money and intelligence and shit and didn't have nothing. She married his ass, then found out he was a broke-ass bum, illiterate, dumb, gambled, spent all her money, beat her slaves, killed her slaves. So, you know, yeah. But I digress. In a plantation field or in the home, white women's power was second only to that of the white male. Moreover, the female mistress or wife could be just as cruel as the male master. They lived together in the same home, slept in the same bed, went to the same church, put their feet under the same table or on the same black child. Yes, white folks use black kids as footstools. There's a picture of a soldier sitting on a little black boy's back. It was in my old Facebook page that I had. I deleted that. I should have kept that Facebook page because that's where I began, actually. But, yeah, I'm going to try to find it. You probably could Google if they ain't erased it and stuff. But it was a soldier sitting on a black little boy's back. He was on his hands and knees, and the soldier was sitting on his back, overgrown motherfucker. So they put their feet under the same table, lived in the same community, and raised the same children. Even single white females could legally own slaves and dominate any black person. When George Washington married Martha, she brought 153 slaves with her ass that she owned into their marriage. They was hers from her family. In the book that we read right now, white babies, little white girls got slaves as early as 3 weeks old, 3 years old. Yep. A point that is rarely made is that white women held the responsibility for disciplining the black domestics. The white wives and white mistresses was cruel to black women who they suspected of having sexual relations with white males, especially the masters. And you know the masters was. Shit. Besides severely beating female slaves, white female slave owners sometimes inflicted cruel physical punishments, like having a breast cut off, fingernails pulled out, or faces disfigured. Oh. There are recorded instances where female slaves were thrown down steps or embankments to induce miscarriages. White female slave owners did not want their own children to have half-white sisters and brothers. That's why some women, some of the slaves and stuff, they would take a potion so they wouldn't get pregnant. Or they would take a potion so that they would expel the baby and stuff, so as to not even, don't want to have no babies by no white folks. While female writers usually used their profession to defend and support slavery in the early 1800s. Susan Pettigrew King, Pettigru, Susan Pettigrew King, a novelist, defended slavery, stating, "Black slaves have as much contentment in slavery in their way as we, whites, have." Louisa S. McCord, a poet, dramatist, and essayist on social matters, who wrote under her initials in influential Southern journals, argued that it was the Christian duty of whites to enslave blacks. It was the Christian duty of white people to enslave black people. And see, these right here was this was their writings, their newspapers, and like you get the word out, marketing, advertising stuff. This was their mentality. This is what they told and taught and passed on to each other, that it was their duty. You got to get yourself out of that mindset. When the Civil War broke out, she used her money to support her beliefs. She purchased clothing and weapons for an entire Confederate company. And I hope that was the motherfucker that Robert Smalls and the crew stole the whole ship. This history seems to be forgotten today when feminists proclaim that throughout history, women have been exploited and deprived as black people. If that is the case, and since white women benefited from and supported centuries of black enslavement, then when did black people ever enslave and benefit from exploiting white women? It never happened. Consequently, there is nothing more unequal than treating white women and blacks as equal. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Your ass better stop inviting them to everything. Shit, ain't no need you sitting up there crying and stuff like you done lost the biggest love relationship, the biggest purpose of your life, because you ain't with white people no more. You got to be with white people. Being without white people is not gonna kill black America. We not gonna lose our mind without white America. We ain't gonna miss nothing. Not being around white America no more. Being with us, spending our money with us, spending our time with us, creating with us, procreating with us. I'm just saying. You ain't gonna miss shit from white folks. What, you want to eat some potato salad with raisins? You want to? I'm just saying. The woman's vote, the non-Disney version. The 19, that's like a confirmation. These earrings right here, y'all had Disney on the back of them. I took a safety pin or a push tack or something and scratched it out. I like the earring, yeah. I'm just saying. The 19th Amendment to the Constitution was passed in 1920, supposedly to give women the right to vote. However, in fact, land-owning white women have voted for centuries. As early as 1776, white women who owned property routinely voted in Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania. A century later, with the opening of the Western frontier, white women were allowed to vote in Kentucky, Kansas, Wyoming, Utah, and Washington. In the rest of the country, white males deprived white females of the right to vote in the belief that they were protecting them. Viewing white women as angelic and above all other women, white men placed them in a protected class that, along with children, would have to be defended at all costs. Told you, at all costs. Politics and voting were perceived as dirty business that white women ought to remain above. When the 19th Constitutional Amendment was ratified, giving the right to vote to some women, white women already had the right to vote in 15 of the 48 states. The 19th Amendment simply made a judgment that extended voting rights in every state to white women, regardless of their class status or property ownership. White males had a compelling reason to extend voting rights to all women. Following the new black consciousness that World War I gave black soldiers and black Americans, white society needed the women's vote to maintain the nation's racial status quo, especially with black Americans' increasing demand for access to voting booths. Damn, that's the only reason they really just all right, let's just let them vote. They can help us be black folks. While white women got full voting rights and privileges in 1920, The black female did not get the right to vote for another half century, 50 years, because her race was more disqualifying than her gender. The 19th Constitutional Amendment was only for white women and only for the white race. A half century after the enactment of the 19th Amendment, the myth of a women's voting bloc evolved. In reality, there has been no separate women's vote. Only in the presidential elections of Eisenhower in 1952 and Bill Clinton in 1992 did the white women's vote differ even marginally from the white man's vote. And that difference was less than 2%. White, and that probably was the white women that were with black men. I don't know. Wasn't much, I'm just saying. White female voters have kept the faith with white men. Similarly, black women, like white women, tend to vote like their male counterparts. Black women over black men. According to the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies, over the past 30 years, black females have increased their quality of life and chances over black males. For example, black females are elected to public office by a rate of 5-1 over black males, while over 51% of the nation's prisoners are black. 96% of those black prisoners are black men. However, female births outnumber black male births 2-1. Black women have a higher rate of survival, income, employment, job stability, business ownership, college attendance, and wealth accumulation. Black women fall victim to fewer catastrophic illnesses, criminal incarcerations, homicides, and we outlive black men by nearly 20 years. For years, studies have shown that black females outlive both white men and black men. Apparently, when James Brown sings "It's a Man's World," he is not talking about black men. No, you better get yourself back with who you're supposed to be with, who the creator, cosmic energy, wants you to be with. Your own race. That's who you're supposed to be with. Black woman made a freak. The Los Angeles Times newspaper on May 4th, 2002, carried a story of Sarjay Boardman, a South African black woman who was born in 1789 and died in poverty in 1816. Boardman lived her short life as an international circus freak. She was a black woman with a physical abnormality, a very large protruding butt. In 1810, a British Navy doctor in South Africa convinced her that if she accompanied him to London, he could make a fortune displaying her body to curious Europeans. In London, she was dubbed the Hottentot Venus at circus sideshows, museums, bars, and universities. Public promotions proclaimed her to be part animal. She was kept in a cage and made to sing and dance in public. When a large number of males expressed curiosity about sexual abilities, Boardman's promoters took her to Paris and introduced her into prostitution. Eventually, the physical exploitation of her body took its toll and she died. They're all just lining up. Like y'all go out there running out all the way around the block to get your shoes. They all just lined up. Just lining up. That's what he did when he tricked the British Navy doctor. He tricked her to come into London, knowing that's what was going to happen. Upon her death, French and British scientists began using parts of her anatomy to perpetuate vulgar stereotypes about race and African sexuality and to support claims that blacks were inferior. Later, and for over 150 years, a French museum publicly displayed her preserved brain, her sexual organs, and her skeleton. Not until the 21st century did a combined act of the French and British governments order Boardman's remains returned to her home in South Africa for burial. Boardman's epitaph could read, "My short life provided wealth, learning, pleasure, and public entertainment for those who despised me." And I ask you, where's the emotion? Where's the soul and the spirit from these people? The laying on of hands. This might be our last one. Yeah. Yeah, I picked up an extra hour and stuff because you got to earn you some extra money. That's what somebody said. Earn you some extra money. Bring some more heads and stuff, you know. Start being creative and stuff and just get you some extra funds. Go to some extra food shelves and clothes shelves and stuff like that. The laying on of hands. In 1812, the quarterly conference of the Baltimore Circuit of Baptist and Methodist ministers held a special meeting for the specific purpose of relieving Reverend John Chalmers of his ministerial duties. Why? Because two black female members of his congregation had charged Reverend Chalmers with making unacceptable sexual advances. At first glance, this does not appear unusual, but it was. The two black women were slaves, and Reverend John Chalmers was white. Now that was real black power, especially since in the early 1800s, white women had no voice in church proceedings, nor did they have any authority to challenge a white male minister or his laying on of hands. Ooh, let's read this right here. Roots of Catholic priest homosexuality. I knew it was something anyway. No, I think that was the Greek with all them statues of them naked men, them little cocks, and them little babies beside them and stuff, looking up like that right there. I guess that was the Greek, but yeah, wasn't black, it wasn't African. I know that. In recent years, the Catholic Church has been racked by revelations of widespread sexual abuses by its priests. Pedophilia, it's allowed now. I think that I don't even going to call brother name out because it might be the wrong one, but they said in the DMV, that diagnostic manual something, pedophilia is normal now. Well, it's normal now. Yep, watch your kids. Yep, homosexuality. So let me start over. In recent years, the Catholic Church has been racked by revelations of widespread sexual abuses by its priests, pedophilia, homosexuality, and adultery. On February 16, 2005, the USA Today newspaper announced that the courts had sentenced a priest from 12 to 15 years for repeated sexual abuses of young boys. Wow, and that was just, in 2005, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and now pedophilia is accepted. A shocked world entered the 21st century when the Pope and top officials within the Catholic Church hierarchy apologizing. A shocked world entered the 21st century with the Pope and top officials within the Catholic Church hierarchy apologizing for the behavior of Catholic priests who had sexually abused scores of young victims. The media and the public at large blasted the church for harboring and protecting pedophile priests. But sexual abuse of young boys by and within the Catholic Church is not new. It began centuries ago in the early formation of the church. Yeah, see, man. In 1589, the Catholic Church officially sanctioned the practice of castrating young boys within the church to prevent puberty. For what purpose? Because the church valued its soprano choirs and needed high-pitched male voices. The church couldn't use female voices because its own traditions prohibited gender mixing. Therefore, choirs made up of young boys were an alternative that could provide the angelic music the church sought. If puberty could be halted to prevent their voices from deepening in their early teens. Oh, that's why they did it. So they wouldn't go through puberty and their voice wouldn't get deep. And they can always have that. And you know how you see all them choirs and stuff, the Catholic churches and stuff? Oh, my ancestors. Besides a music contribution, castration offered additional benefits to the church. Why? What were they doing without sex organs? Boys would be less likely to get into trouble, while their bodies retain youthful, female-like characteristics. Because their voice ain't going to deepen. Their shoulders aren't going to widen. Yeah, they're going to remain. They might get a little nub on their face and stuff, but wow, man. The church's practice spread into mainstream European society, and a castration industry evolved. That's what it say. The church's practice spread into mainstream European society, and a castration industry evolved. Just like that. Barbers performed castrations as a sideline business. Signs in their shop windows read, "Boys castrated here." Farmers who had experience in castrating animals made a little money on the side performing castrations on young boys. These operations were performed without anesthesia. Historians estimate that 3 out of 10 castrated boys died because of hemorrhaging or infections from the surgery. In some instances, the castration was for naught because it didn't guarantee that a boy would always sing soprano. Maybe he even lost the love for singing. After castration, many young boys were taunted as freaks. Famous composers like Handel and Rossini composed music specifically for these young boys. The practice of castrating young boys in the Catholic Church eventually came to an end. However, were there other similarities of anticipated outcomes in castrating young boys to produce sopranos in the church, and the historical, psychological, and physical castration of black males that produced falsetto voices in songs and emotional moments? If not, why did black male singers abandon the falsetto voice after the Black Civil Rights Movement? I guess that's our groups like the Delphonics and stuff. They got that real soft and fine musical voice. And, I guess that's the type of, I don't really know my falsetto and the soprano voices and stuff like that. I don't know the different ones and stuff. But then, white folks castrated black men. Yep, George Washington Carver was castrated so that he wouldn't be a threat to white folks and their white daughters. And he still has so much forgiveness and love in his heart. He transmuted it all to love. George Washington Carver did all of it. And I just wonder, was any of this even worth it for us as a people, as a collective? Because I don't think so. Yeah, we'll start here tomorrow. Colonial sexual mores were loose. Colonial sexual mores were loose. Yeah, we'll read about it tomorrow. But I just want y'all to, we making progress. I want y'all to know I really do appreciate y'all, and it take time and stuff. And I know I don't learn so fast. I'm a slow learner sometimes. But I'm willing, and I'm sincere, so I really do appreciate y'all and stuff. And, it's just amazing how our ancestors is just waking us up and letting us know that it's okay. It's okay to learn about us. So that's all we're going to have, y'all. That's all we're going to have. We ain't going to have nothing. We ain't going to have nobody. We just going to have each other. Yeah, just don't worry. Just be wary. Just be wary of what's happening, what's going on. It ain't projecting no fear on nobody and stuff. Because hell, all of this done happened. Your ass was supposed to tell each other about this. Then you wouldn't feel like, oh, you saying all that and projecting on folks stuff. No. We're just telling you what you need to know because you didn't know. But now you do. Now you, black people, even more than ever, you must decide where you're going to spend your afterlife. You got to. Not just here on earth. We got to make changes here on earth and in the afterlife. You can't take that mentality with you. I never even thought about it. Something other than heaven? What? Who said some shit like that? Yeah, you can hear it. It's like somebody just dropped something on the ground and it broke. But yeah, you got to ask yourself, Black America, we different. We are so different from white people. We need to start asking different questions, significant questions, questions that matter, questions that make us think, because we ain't been thinking. We ain't been thinking. And see, now you can do it fairly easy because we in a new awakening. It's been activated. The cosmos have activated. Mother Earth has activated herself. And I told you earlier, I don't know if it's because of the 5G towers and all of this futuristic AI shit that they putting out here, because it is interfering with Earth's magnetic field. I don't know if that's what woke up the cosmos and Mother Gaia. I don't know if it is us because we so traumatized. The cosmos manifested us. The cosmos, the ethers. I know your mind, my mind only believed in one universe, but it's a multiverse out there. Matter of fact, it may be an infinite number of multiverses. Instead of a multiverse, mine is going this way. See, but that multiverse could be going all ways. Now imagine if it's just multiverses. You don't know how many it is because it's endless. It's timeless. We are timeless. The white man, they don't know. We got to use our own mind and start thinking for ourselves about this. So, all of that, the multiverses, the ethers wanted to manifest. It wanted to experience a human experience, a human existence. So I don't know. I imagine it could have been a star, probably 2 stars at once. You ever seen 2 shooting stars at one time? Me either. But yeah, we is now. So you imagine 2 shooting stars coming down and as soon as they hit the ground and stuff and they spread out like that, that was the cosmos manifesting itself as the black man and the black woman. I can imagine that and stuff rather than hell what the white man said and stuff. You can believe his shit here. You ought to be able to believe in yourself because it say go within. And when you think about within and stuff, you ain't nothing but the cosmos personified. The cosmos personified. That multiverse of them ethers is right there in your belly, your womb. Yeah, that's where you giving life. That's where you producing stars and storms and black holes and stuff. I'm just saying the nebulas. Right there, your womb, your stomach that bring into black birth, bring black babies to life. And it ushers us into life and stuff. When we give birth to our babies, it's just like the universe. It's just like the universe. White folks, they haven't told us these things and stuff because it's not them. Anybody can steal your grocery, your purse, your wallet, whatever you got, and they can use it to benefit for them. They can use it and make it benefit for them here. Before you know it and shit here, they chicken tastes better than yours here. Because, see, you got different seasonings that they don't use. So, see, they fried that chicken up, hey, and put that lemon pepper sauce on there and that turmeric and a little black pepper and stuff, and they seasoned it up. Yeah. I'm just saying. So let's finish this so we can get on up out of here because, I want you to keep some gratitude, Black America. You keep some gratitude. You always keep some gratitude. I don't care if somebody done did something to you and you still shocked about it. You just still always be grateful. At least you know. At least your ass know. Be thankful for that. Be thankful, if for nothing else, for the sun in the sky. Just be thankful for the sun. Thank your ancestors. Just be grateful. It ain't got to come from nowhere particular. But if it do, more of that particular is going to come to you. Sure will, son. I'm just saying. Gratitude shields you from negativity. You can just wash everything right on off of your back and your mind when you grateful, honey. Ain't nothing gonna worry you. They be like, well, damn, I shouldn't even say nothing to her. Well, let me go try it over here with this person right here. Shit, see if I can get their ass, with a little negativity. But see, you got gratitude on you, honey. That's how folks is doing out there. Everybody's trying to steal everybody else's gratitude, happiness, joy, prosperity, abundance, your energy. Ain't nothing safe. Everybody ass in danger. For real. Gratitude makes you at least 25% happy. Yeah, you ain't got to be negative and complaining and down and out all the time and so depressed and stuff. And you think about it and stuff and you just want to start crying. You just want to start crying and stuff. But then your ass see Willie Brown and you learn about Jim Grant. You learn about Isaac and Elias, and you ain't shed a tear or nothing for them. You got to get your mind right. Get yourself right. Grab a hold of what's for you. That sun up there is for you. You can't hold it and stuff, but honey, it's in you. It's you. Your gratitude, that's yours. It's within you. Can't nobody take it away. You got to use it. Let that be your higher power. Yes, honey, somebody think, well, I ain't going around her ass for 2 weeks. Fucking, I'm going to punish her ass. She ain't going to see me for 3 days. I ain't going to answer her call. So fucking what? And see, a lot of us and stuff, when that happens, we depressed. We said, oh, I can't eat. Oh, I can't eat. Waiting on Michael to call. Where is Michael? Please tell Michael to call me and stuff. When all your ass got to do is have some gratitude and make yourself 25% happy. Now, see, when you learn these things, because when I learned this and I'm grateful, honey, I'm like 55% happier. I am. And then I know about the sun, too. It's okay with me that the sun giving everybody else some energy. Shit, I want your ass to get your own energy so you ain't got to touch me and take mine. I'm just saying. But I know that sun is for me. See, I be telling all of us, people I come in contact with, yes, honey. You know how we be saying, well, y'all started, ooh, that your melanin popping. Oh, honey, y'all let us know that sun is for you. Sure will. You better get out there and get you some sunlight. Being grateful, y'all, it rewires your brain. It eliminates stress and heals your body. It improves your sleep, and you can sleep like a baby. Folks don't know why. Well, damn, I thought she would have been up tossing and turning and crying and our bags all under our eyes and stuff, honey. You came out looking like you done dusted in some talcum powder. But you know you can't be putting that powder on your stuff. You know Johnson & Johnson been sued and stuff. Them powders and stuff, that talcum powder, honey, been giving people cancer. Yeah, I don't use it and stuff. I'm just natural. Yeah, I'm just natural from everything. I was just using it as an example. You know, yeah, because you sleep so wonderfully at night and stuff. Well, hell, maybe you smell like lavender. Yeah, something natural, you know? Yeah, I'm just saying that's what gratitude does for you. It improves your sleep. Folks don't know what the hell happened and stuff. Thought you were going to come outside looking a hot mess. Honey, you came outside looking like, you know, a full-course vegetarian meal with no meat. I'm just saying. You know, gratitude boosts your self-esteem and your performance. It enhances the law of attraction. Gratitude improves relationships. Don't nobody want to be with negative Nancy no more. This right here is not the best to keep you in a high vibrational mood and stuff, but it's necessary. And it don't keep you down. When you are learning something, it actually elevates you. It actually elevates you, your mentality, your sincerity, all your contribution and your what's the word? Your potentials. Yeah, it do. We be down and out sometimes when we read this. That's why we read it at nighttime. I'm so thankful the ancestors told me to read this at midnight. We all would have been out here telling Sabrina. So what, your motherfucking ass over there thinking like your ancestors now? You know, but we do this at night. We read about that at night so we can process it. And, you know, and try to coexist together. So just how we getting away from white American don't want to have shit to do with them, don't mean we just finna wild out on their asses and stuff. No, we just finna get out on their motherfucking asses. You know, I'm just saying. Keep a song in your heart, too, and then I got to go. But, you know, yeah, I got me one extra hour. Yeah, till I can, you know, become self-sustaining like y'all are. I need to reach that financial pinnacle, some financial something, so I can do what I need to do and stuff. But now we got to start doing it from our creativeness, if that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. Your heart, y'all, when you singing joyful, expressive songs, y'all, it nourishes your heart. It balances emotions and just uplifts your spirit. Y'all, you got to keep a song in your heart, Black America. I don't know, Barry White, let the music play. I've been listening to Barry. Let the music play. I just want to dance the night away. Right here where I'm gonna stay. All night long. Ooh, 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 wee. I'm just saying, keep a song in your heart. Shit, who gonna say something? You step out singing Barry. I guarantee you ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Shut that shit up. What? There be no starting a fight outside. You didn't know where brother come from. Boom. What you say about Barry? I'm just saying, you know, just keep a song in your heart. You know, I don't like being so sensitive. So, yeah, you know, into it all the time and stuff. I lighten up, you know. Yeah, just keep a song in your heart. Because when you singing, y'all, singing expands your lungs. You can get a full oxygen, when you singing them songs and stuff and you hitting that high note, oh, my ancestors, honey, your lungs is getting so much oxygen in it. Your lungs feel like it's a kite. It feel like you is just running and the fan is on high, you know, because it's getting all that oxygen that it ain't got in a while. I'm convinced we breathing like white folks. How can we not? How can we not be breathing like white folks? Your nose going to be this damn little in 3 to 5 years. I'm just saying, you know. I'm just saying, get your shit together. I'll be walking around today like this. I'll make sure my nose open up and stuff. I'm just saying, we in hard times now, y'all. This unprecedented times. And we don't know what it's going to be like and stuff. Just laugh. We got to laugh, sing, keep some gratitude and stuff. We got some things we can work with. It's getting pretty outside and stuff. And if you were the weather is allowing it and stuff, honey, hug on a tree. Hug a tree. Not just like this. I learned from brother that when you hugging a tree like this right here, honey, you supposed to pick your legs up and hug the tree with your legs. I can't wait to hug a tree the right way. I can't. See, all of these little things right here, they come from the cosmos. They are God-given. So you see, they got more impact. They got more benefits for you. Because it's not no materialistic thing. I'm not giving us nothing that is materialistic. Oh, I'm just going to go over there and buy shit. No, you can't buy it. You got to go within and find it. You got to go find it. You got it, though. These are just every day-to-day things that we used to do. The same way Anthony Browder, our brother, said that the epigeneticists, the geneticists discovered that we got 30,000 years of body memory that remembers from 30,000 years ago. I think it's longer than that because the motherfuckers lie so much, but I digress, So you got all of that inside of you and stuff, and you can use it, Black America. It's time for us to use it. That's probably why you're here right now. Yeah. Unless I found you and then you like, oh, shit, hell, I see her now. But yeah, I'm just saying. Singing helps regulate emotions like frustration, anger, and stress. Everybody mad today. Everybody motherfucking mad. White folks, they mad because they losing control and stuff. But we ain't here to heal white America. I can't do nothing about that. We mad, frustrated, anger, got a lot of stress on us stuff because we still ain't seen no help, no assistance, no forgiveness, no likeness. We ain't seen nothing, no unity. We ain't seen no acceptance, no equality, no liberation, no justice, nothing. So, we always been like this. I ain't never had nothing, but we ain't never had no therapy. We ain't never had no help to process anything. So we got what we have endured in our lifetime, plus our ancestors' lifetimes inside of our body's memory. Now our liver is throwing up all of this, and it might over time and stuff, just for you alone, yourself, not even mentioning your ancestors. It's throwing up a lot of that in your liver and stuff. It don't affect me all the time like it probably would, but some of our people and stuff, every time you see her, you about know what's wrong with her ass now. Go tell her to sing a song. Go ask her what's your favorite song before she cuss you out, and let her be able to find that glimpse of hope and laughter and some light. I mean, I'm just saying, give her something that can help her see that it could get some of that out of there. She ain't even gonna recognize it at first. By the time y'all done sat there and sang Cool in the Game, I'm just saying. And when it's over with and stuff, and you go your way and she go her way, maybe she gonna sing another song. I don't know. Maybe she gonna sing Lionel Richie, all night long. I don't know. But when you see her again and stuff, you gonna see a small smile on her face. You ain't gonna know why. You probably won't even notice it here because she's so mean now and stuff, But it's gonna be so fleeting, and that's it. But she might let you know. You might detect it and stuff. That's because a little bit of that frustration, anger, and stress, it got out of her liver when she was singing them songs. Let her know to keep singing. Let her ass know to keep a song in her heart. Gratitude. Let us know. All we got to do is be grateful. Be grateful. My people, it's so simple. Keep it simple. That's all we got to do. Yeah. Your liver, when you singing, it helps to regulate emotions. And I already read that, didn't I? Yeah, that's your liver, though. Yeah, remember that frustration, anger, and stress. Hell, it's accumulating in your liver. Yeah, talk about detox. I know, right? And kidneys. When you singing, y'all, it strengthens your kidney energy because your kidney's singing too. I know I can see my kidney all the time up in there. And I get to singing and stuff. Oh, yeah. Folks don't know what the hell's going on in my mind. Is you singing over there? You grateful? What? And it ain't none of their damn business either. It ain't, because everybody got to do this for them. How happy do you want to be? How recovered do you want to be, Black America? A little bit or you know you want to go all out. You want all of it. I'm just saying we all got to decide these things. It's all about vibrations. It's all about vibrations. Let's vibrate high. Everything is evolving. We got to evolve too. And we can't do that thinking like white America done programmed us. You cannot evolve. I can't evolve as a black woman thinking like a white woman or white people in general. I cannot evolve as a black woman living, watching TV, my entertainment, the way I'm eating, or the way I live my day-to-day life, the way I communicate. I can't do it. Don't work for me. I'm a black woman. So I got to keep my black mindset. And if you done lost it and your sisters and stuff done lost it and stuff, and I know they so dainty and stuff, some of our sisters and stuff is, yes, Miss Face, but what do you want? You know, but and that's all right. Let them be who they are and stuff. But please teach them how to have a little strength behind themselves and stuff, you know. We can't just be damsels in distress. We ain't never just been no damn damsels in distress. I'm just saying. But let me get out of here and stuff because I'm trying to make at least $10 extra on my paycheck. I'm just saying. But I love y'all and I thank y'all so much. And let me just let y'all know that I will try to come on tonight because they were her property. We're going to finish that. They were her property. We're going to finish that and we're going to move on and stuff. We got other things to read, but we just trying to see what's wrong with Black America as we learn it. So we can heal our people. We ain't finna be the ones out here, you know, still stuck, lost without anything. We're not finna do that no more. Not willingly anyway. Oh, hi, Mike. It's so good to see you. And I hope we can talk later. Oh, thank you. Blackity black and proud. I know. Yeah, we don't know nothing about that, but we're going to have to let us know. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I sure appreciate you. And you, Kevin, and the map drawer. I got to get a list of your songs. Because, you know, somebody told me about, what's her name? Bassey. Shirley Bassey. This is my life. Don't you cry. Oh, my ancestors. Honey, somebody going to start crying. We got to get our music back out here to us. Fuck the dumb shit. I do love you. I love you. I love you. Hoo-hoo. I'm just saying all our old school music. Pull it out. It's summertime. You know we outside. You know somebody hungry, somebody tired, somebody depressed. You know, and give us some goodness and stuff. That's all I'm asking. You know, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all tonight. Peace and power to our people.